What's going on, YouTube? You're back with Shades. We're gonna start a Let's Play of Katawa Shoujo, a visual novel? Dating sim? I don't know what to call it. That has been suggested to me for the longest time. Actually, it was first suggested to me back in high school because I heard it was totes adorbs. And I decided to try it because I've been on a Dodger binge, and I've been watching a lot of her videos. Link in the description if you don't know who she is. I've been on a binge, and so I decided to take interest in one of these. And because this is a visual novel, I will not be having my face cam on, so you will not be seeing my face. And like again, this is a visual novel, so you should be taking it in completely and not just like looking at me reacting to it. And don't worry, you'll hear my reactions just fine. So anyway, this is made by, oh god, what is it called? Four Leaf Studios, I think they're called. Yeah. Anyway, so actually, from what I know about this game, it's all the girls in this game are handicapped or disabled in some way, shape, or form. And when I first heard of that, I was actually taken aback, thinking, "Oh, that's weird." But now that I'm old, but that was back when I was in high school. I was immature and childish. Now that I'm older and wiser, I now know that a person is beautiful no matter what's wrong with them. Actually, nothing wrong. It's not their choice. Whatever. I'm gonna stop before I'm gonna just start the game before I dig even deeper grave. A light breeze causes the naked branches overhead to rattle like wooden chimes. This is a popular retreat for couples in the summer. The deciduous trees provide a beautiful green canopy, far out of the sight of teachers and fellow students. But now, in late winter, it feels like I'm standing under a pile of kindling. I breathe into my cupped hand and rub them together furiously to prevent them from numbing in this cold. Oh dear. Just how long am I expected to wait out here anyway? The note said 4 p.m. God, they kept me waiting. Jesus. Ah yes, the note slipped between the pages of my math book while I wasn't looking. As far as cliches go, I'm more of a fan of the letter in the locker, but at least this way it shows a bit of initiative. I mean, as cliches go, like, I mean, a letter anywhere is a cliche, so I guess whatever, right? As I ponder the meaning of the note, the snowfall gradually thickens. I hope you're bundled up, because I don't want my character to get a cold. The snowflakes snowflakes silently falling from the white painted sky are the only sign of time passing in this stagnant world. Their slow descent upon the frozen forest makes it seem like time has slowed to a crawl. The rustling of dry snow underfoot startles me, interrupting the quiet mood. Someone is approaching me from behind. Hisao, you came? A hesitating, barely audible question. However, I recognize the owner of that dainty voice instantly. I feel my heart skip a beat. It's a voice I've listened to 100 times, but never as more than a eavesdropper to a conversation. I turn to face his voice, the voice of my dreams, and my heart began to race. Nameless girl number 1, who is clearly not dressed well for winter. Iwanako, I got a note telling me to wait here. It was yours? Damn it, I spent all afternoon trying to come up with a good line, and that was the result? Jeez, I'm such a dork. Pathetic. Yes, I asked a friend to give you that note. I'm so glad you got it. A shy, joyous smile makes me so tense I couldn't move a single muscle even if I tried. Ooh, is it... What the frack? What was with that weird graphic over there? What the hell? My heart is pounding now, as if it were trying to burst out from my chest and claim this girl for itself. What? That's quite a way to word it. So, here we are, out in the cold. Once again, the wind stirs up the branches. The cacophonous noise is music to my ears. Is it? When I hear wind in the winter, I just go, ugh, my ears, they're cold. Iwanako flinches ever so softly against the gust of wind. As it passes, she rights herself, as if supported by some new confidence. Her eyes lock with mine, and she lazily twirls her long, dark hair around her finger. All the while, the anxious beating of my heart grows louder. Louder. My throat is tight, though I doubt I could even force a word out if I tried. You see, I wanted to know if you'd go out with me. Acute's already happening. This is too soon. My heart's not ready. I stand there, motionless, save for my pounding heart. I want to say something in reply, but my vocal cords feel like they've been stretched beyond the breaking point. Hisao? I reached up trying to massage my throat, but this only sent spikes of blinding pain along my arms. Hisao! Oh, I am handicapped in some way. Oh, my whole body freezes, save for my eyes, which shoot up open in terror. Okay, what is with this graphic? It's... What the hell? Hisao! The beating in my chest suddenly stops, and I go weak in the knees. The world around me, like a canopy of bare branches, the dull winter sky. Iwanaga running towards me, all these fade to black. The last thing I remember before slipping away are the sounds of Iwanaga screaming for help and the incessant clatter of branches above. Well, we died. That was a great game, guys. Thanks for playing. That was lovely. EKG! 4-Leaf Studios prevents. I was right. Wait, is this a theme song happening? Inspiration writer. Right. Ooh. Did I like have a heart attack or a stroke or something? Pills! I have a feeling I lost that arm. Or something, I don't know. Oh, this is legit. Look at the animation. Oh, come on. Like, there's no theme song? I was kind of hoping for a theme song. All the legit dating the visual novels have a theme song. Whatever. I won't get my hopes up. It's been 4 months since my heart attack. Oh, I have a weak heart? The whole time I can probably count the times I've left this hospital room unsupervised on one hand. 4 months is a pretty long time when you're left alone with your thoughts, so I've had plenty of time to come to terms with my situation. Arrhythmia. A strange word, a foreign alien one that you don't want to be in the same room with. A rare condition. It causes the heart to act erratically and occasionally beat way too fast. It can be fatal. Apparently I've had it for a long time. They said it was a miracle that I was able to go on so long without anything happening. Is it really a miracle? I guess it was supposed to make me feel better, more appreciative of my life. It really didn't do anything to cheer me up. My parents, I think, were hit harder by the news than I was. They practically had 2 hemorrhages apiece. I've already had a full day by then to digest everything. To them, it was all fresh. They were even willing to sell our house in order to pay for a cure. Of course there isn't a cure. Because of the late discovery of this condition, I've had to stay at the hospital to recuperate from the treatments. When I was first admitted, I felt as if I was missed. For about a week, my room in the ward was full of flowers, balloons, and cards. But the visitors soon dwindled, and the get-well gifts began trickling down to nothing shortly after. I realized that the only reason I had gotten so many cards and flowers was because sending me their sympathy had been turned into a class project. Maybe some people were genuinely concerned, but I doubt it. Even in the beginning, I barely had visitors. By the end of the first month, only my parents came on by a regular basis. Iwanaka was the last to stop visiting. After 6 weeks, I never saw her again. We never had that much to talk about when she visited anyway. We didn't touch the subject that was between us and on that snowy day ever again. The hospital? It's not really a place I'd like to live in. The doctors and nurses feel so impersonal and faceless. I guess it's because they're in a hurry and they have a million other patients waiting for them, but it makes me feel uncomfortable. For the first month or so, I asked the head cardiologist every time I saw him for a rough estimate of when I'd be able to leave. He never answered anything in a straightforward way, but told me to wait and see if the treatment and surgeries worked. So I idly observed the scar that those surgeries had left on my chest slowly change its appearance over time, thinking as if it was some kind of omen. I still asked the head cardiologist about leaving. But my expectations are low enough now that I'm not disappointed anymore when I don't get a reply. The way he shovels around, the answer shows that there is at least some hope. At some point I will stop watching TV. I don't know why, I just did. Maybe it was the wrong kind of escapism for my situation. I started reading instead. There was a small library at the hospital, although it was more like a storeroom for books. I began working my way through it, one small stack at a time. After consuming time, I would go back for more. Consuming them, my bad. I found that I like reading, and I think I even become addicted. I know that feeling. I started feeling naked without a book in my hands. I also know that feeling. But I love the stories. This was what my life was like. The days became increasingly harder to distinguish from each other, differing only by the book I was reading and the weather outside. It felt like time blurred into some kind of gooey mess, and I was trapped inside, instead of moving within. A week would go by without me really noticing it. Sometimes I'd pause in realization and that I didn't know what day of the week it was. But other times, all the things that surrounded me would painfully crash into my consciousness, though the barrier of nonchalance I had set up for myself. The pages of my book would start feeling sharp and burning hot, and the heaviness in my chest would become so hard to bear that I put the book aside and just lay down for a while, looking at the ceiling as if I was going to cry. But that happened only rarely, and I couldn't even cry. Today the doctor comes in and gives me a smile. Oops, damn it. My parents are here. It's been a few days since I've last seen them. Both of them are even sort of dressed up. Is this supposed to be some kind of special occasion? It's not a party. There is this ritual the head cardiologist has. He takes his time sorting his papers, then setting them aside as if to make a point of the pointlessness of what he just did. Then he casually sits down at the edge of the bed next to mine. He looks me in the eyes for a moment. Hello, Hisao. How are you doing today? I don't answer him, but I smile a little back at him. I believe that you can go home. Your heart is stronger now, and with some precautions, you should be fine. We have all your medication sorted out. I'll give your father the prescription. The doctor hands a sheet of paper to my dad, whose expression turns wooden as he reads it quickly. So many. I take it from his hand and take a look for myself, feeling numb. How am I supposed to react to this? Oh, whoa. That's a lot of wow. Wow, that's medicines and thingamajigs and measurements and oh my god. The absurdly long list of medications staring back at me from the paper seems insurmountable. They all blend together in a sea of letters. This is insane. Side effects, adverse effects, contradictions, and dosages are listed line after line with cold precision. I try to read them, but it's so futile. I can't understand any of it. Attempting to only makes me feel sicker. Add all this for the rest of my life, every day? I'm afraid that's the best we can do at this point. However, new medications are always being developed, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that list fade over the years. Years? What kind of confidence booster is that? I haven't felt better if he hadn't said anything at all. Also, I've spoken with your parents, and we believe that it would be best if you don't return to your old school. What? Please calm down, Hisao. Listen to what the doctor has to say. Calm down? The way he says it tells me he knew full well that I wouldn't like it. Am I going to be homeschooled? Whatever of my concern shows, it's ignored. We all understand your education is paramount. However, I don't think that it's wise for you to be without supervision. At least not until we're sure that your medication is suitable. So I've spoken to your parents about a transfer. It's a school called Yamaku Academy that specializes in dealing with disabled students. Disabled? What? Am I... It has a 24-hour nursing staff, and is only a few minutes from a highly regarded general hospital. The majority of students live on the campus. Think of it as a boarding school of sorts. It's designed to give students a degree of independence, while keeping help nearby. Taking a swig of water. Independence? It's a school for disabled kids? Don't try to disguise that fact. If it was really that free, there wouldn't be a 24-hour nursing staff, and you wouldn't make a hospital being nearby a selling point. Of course, it's only if you want to go, but your mother and I aren't really able to homeschool you. We went out there and had a look a couple of weeks back. I think you'd like it. It looks like I really don't have a choice. Compared to other heart problems, people with your condition usually tend to live long lives. Okay, you'll need a job one day. This is a good opportunity to continue your education. This isn't an opportunity. Don't call it an opportunity. Don't call it a goddamned opportunity. Well, you should be excited at the chance to go back to school. I remember you wanted to return to school, and while it's not the same one, the wording's a little weird. It's really repetitive. A special school, that's an insult. That's what I want to say. It's a step down. It's not what you think. All the students there are pretty active in their own sort of way. It's geared towards students that can still get around and learn, but just need a little help, in one way or another. Your father's right. Many of the graduates of the school have gone on to do amazing things. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. One of my colleagues at another hospital is a graduate. I don't care. A person doesn't have to be held back by their disability. That's what a disability is. I really hate that something so important was decided for me. But what can I do about it? A normal life is out of the question now. It's funny, I've always thought my life was actually kind of boring, but now I miss it. I want to protest, but I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock, what? I want to blame this lack of reaction on shock or fatigue. Never mind, I'm wrong. I could easily yell out something now, something about how I can go back to school anyway, but no. I don't say anything. In fact, the fact is I know now it's futile. I look around the room, feeling very tired of all this. The hospital, doctors, my condition, everything. I don't see anything that would make me feel any different. Really isn't a choice, I know this, but the thought of going to a disabled school, what are those even like? As much as I try to put a positive spin on this, it's very difficult. But let me try. A clean slate isn't a bad thing. That is all I can think of to get me through this. At least I still have something. Even if it's a special school, it's something. It's a fresh start, and my life isn't over. It would be a mistake just to resign myself to thinking that. At least he's staying positive, right? At the very least, I'll try to see what my new life will look like. Flash forward. Oh, so that's what the symbol with the heart with the bandage is symbolizing. It's the main character. I get it now. He literally has a broken heart. Haha. The gate looked far too pompous for what it was. In fact, gates in general seem to do that, but this one especially so. I feel like this is a stock photo. Red bricks, black wrought iron, and gray plaster assembled into a whole that didn't feel welcoming at all. I wondered if it looked like what a gate for a school should look like, but I couldn't really decide. Probably no. Of course I didn't want to get stuck on thinking about the gate for too long, so I entered through it with a brisk pace, and that felt surprisingly good. Moving forward feels good. So I walked towards the main building of Yamaku Academy with this brisk pace. I'm alone, as my parents are taking my stuff to the dorms, and there's supposed to be someone waiting for me. The grounds are incredibly lush, filled with green. This is either a really nice painting or a really good edit of a stock photo. It doesn't feel like the kind of grounds a school would have. More like a park, with a clean walkway going past trees and the smell of fresh cut grass and all other park-like things. Words like clean and hygienic pop into my mind. It makes me shudder. I shake them off. Stay open-minded now. It's your new life. You have to take it as it comes. That's what I tell myself. A few big buildings loom behind the leafy canopies, too big and too many for just a school. Everything seems off. It's different from what I thought I knew about schools. It's an uncanny valley. Even though I was told this is my new school, in the back of my head, it doesn't feel like one. I wonder if the feeling is real, or caused by my expectations of a school for the disabled. Speaking of that, I don't see anyone else here. It's kinda eerie. It makes me wish there was somebody here so I could anchor myself to something intangible, instead of having this feeling that I stepped into another dimension. The trees hum with the wind, and the green hues flashing all around me catch my attention. It makes me think about hospitals again, how they say that the operating rooms are painted green because green is a calming color. I always thought blue was a calming color. So why am I feeling so anxious, despite all this greenery? Only after I stand in front of the haughty main building, I surprise myself by realizing why the gate bothered me. It was the last chance I had to turn back, even if I had no life I could return to. I feel like your last chance to turn back was literally in that room in the hospital when you were like, I don't wanna. You could have gotten a tutor or something, but I feel like at this point, like all the paperwork is done, there's no turning back. But still, after entering, there's absolutely no way I could go back anymore. See, feeling nervous and with this realization set in my head, I open the front door. A tall man with bad posture notices me as I enter. We're the only people in the lobby, so it's only logical. You must be Niki? Nakai. So you are. Excellent. I'm your homeroom and science teacher. My name is Muto. Welcome. We exchange a handshake that is neither firm nor sloppy, and he looks at his watch. The head nurse asked me to ask you for a brief check-in visit, but there's no time for that now. Oh, should I go later? Yes, afternoon's probably fine. We should get going. Introduce you to the rest of the class. They're waiting already. What the hell did I choose as a voice? Waiting for me? I don't like being the center of attention, but I guess it's inevitable in a situation like this. I know that feeling. I don't like being the center of attention. Although lately, I've been increasingly more okay with it. Somehow not knowing what is waiting for me makes me feel really nervous. Thinking of this, I almost missed what the teacher is saying. Do you want to introduce yourself to the class? Yeah, of course, why not? Choices! Yeah, sure, I mean, isn't that normal? Of course, but not everyone likes to be the center of attention. Was he reading my mind? I'm probably one of those people, but I guess I should be the one to give the first impression of myself. Right, but it's no problem. Let's go then. My heart is pounding in whoops! My heart is pounding in my chest, and it keeps me thinking about my condition as I follow the teacher up the stairs. The third door down, the third floor corridor is marked with the classroom for class 3-3. Muto opens the door and enters. Good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late again. I hesitate for a split second at the door, freezing at the spot. Get a grip! This is a big step, I know that, but there isn't any point to worrying so much about it, at least not this soon. Hello, people! So these are my classmates. I follow the teacher into the classroom and look around, partially so I won't have to be the curious gazes of my new classmates. It's pretty spacious, the ceiling is unusually high, and there's lots of space left over around and in between the desks. Is that what you call this? There's not a lot of space here. They look really cramped together. The entire wall taken up by blackboards and the high, old-fashioned windows only make it seem larger. The students' desks are just standard wooden desks with a shelf underneath for books and wooden chairs with metal frames, simple and efficient. I stop walking in front of the classroom and face the other students. They all look normal, like students in any other school, but then, why would they be here? They probably, like me, have something wrong with them, only it's not immediately obvious. Then I notice one of the girls seems to be missing the thumb of her right hand. It's a little jarring. Despite natural tendency to listen when someone's talking to you, I tune out the teacher's speech halfway through while he introduces me to the class. I notice a flash of dark hair and see someone is looking at me. A girl with really long straight hair, and that is pretty eye-catching. As she sees me looking back at her, she covers her face with her hands as if to make her invisible. The one boy with a cane leaning against the lockers at the rear of the class. It's weird seeing someone so young with a cane. Another girl seems to be making some weird hand motions. Sign language? She peers at me over the rim of her glasses, then goes back to whatever she's doing. She's kinda cute, so the cheery-looking girl with pink hair sitting next to her, she's really hard to miss. Oh. I didn't know how I didn't notice her at the moment I walked in. Really? You didn't come here to ogle people. Come on, calm your genitals. Please welcome our newest classmate. He claps his hands, so does everyone else, except one girl in the first row who has only one hand. I cringe a little, but hide it by bowing in thanks for this applause I did not deserve. A collective silence tells me I should open my mouth now. So, I'm Hisao Nakai. And after that, my hobbies are reading and soccer. I hope to get along well with everyone, even though I'm a new student. And after that, I'm being so boring. This is exactly like every self-introduction ever. So I should say something more exciting. Ended up saying nothing, and the teacher picks up from there. Everyone seems to be satisfied even with what I said, though a few girls are whispering to each other, throwing glances at me. It could have gone worse. I listen to the teacher as he drones on about getting along while letting my gaze sweep across the classroom. Everyone seems to be listening to him intently, and when he's done, they clap their hands again, which feels like a weird thing to do. The first girl claps on this round with her one hand against the other wrist that ends in a bandaged stump. It makes you feel a little bad. We're going to be doing some group work today, so oh god, we're doing some group work today, so I'll give you a little chance to talk with everyone. Is that okay with you? Yeah, it's fine with me. That's good. You can work with Hakamichi. She's the class representative. She can explain anything you might want to know, and who else would be able to do that better? Right? How could I know? The teacher passes out the day's assignments and announces that we'll be working in groups of 3. It hits me that I don't know who Hakamichi is. Slow. The teacher seems to catch my helpless expression. Alright, Hakamichi is right there. Shizune Hakamichi. Oh, the pink-haired girl. As she calls out her name, the cute, bubbly-looking girl with bright pink hair and gold eyes waves her hand at me. I take a seat next to her by the window. Hey, I guess you're Hakamichi, right? It's nice to meet you. Ha ha ha. What? I'm caught off guard by her laughter. It's nice to meet you too. But I'm not Hakamichi, it's Misha. This is Hakamichi. Shi-chan? What? Giggling, Misha points to the girl next to her, the one I saw using sign language before. It looks like she has been staring at me this whole time. She nods once nonchalantly to show that she acknowledges my presence, but only barely. She has short yet cheerfully neatly brushed hair, a pair of oval-shaped glasses balanced on the tip of a dainty nose, and dark blue eyes that seem to alternate every few seconds between analytical and slightly bored. It's nice to meet you. She immediately looks at Misha, who smiles and makes a few quick gestures with her hands. Hakamichi nods and makes a few gestures of her own. I start to wonder if the teacher was messing with me, saying things like you'll be able to talk to people and who better explain things to you. I can see you're a little confused, right? Right? But I understand why you would think I was Shi-chan. Shi-chan is deaf, so I'm the person who translates things back and forth for her. I'm like an interpreter. She says it's nice to meet you too. You're the new student, aren't you? Well, Shi-chan, of course. Well, Shi-chan, of course he is. If he wasn't, he wouldn't have been standing up there for no reason, right? Right? He seems like a very interesting person, doesn't he? Well, we knew there were going to be new students, but we didn't know who would be here today so soon. He-chan, right? He-chan. Yup, it fits, doesn't it? Did I say that out loud? It's just a surprise. I've never liked that nickname. I don't really see how. It fits. You look just like I imagined. Huh? Yeah, you look just like a He-chan. And I wonder why everyone seems to think so. Hakamichi taps her fingers on the desk to get Misha's attention. They gesture back and forth to each other excitedly, their hands ablur. Misha seems a little overwhelmed. Sorry about that. Shi-chan wants you to know that she's a class rep, so if there's anything you need to know, you can feel free to ask her. Do you like the school so far? We can show you around a little if you haven't had time to walk around and familiarize yourself with it? Misha stumbles with the hard word a bit, making it stick out in her otherwise fluid translation. Thanks, that would be pretty helpful. Yeah, I just came straight to class today. Laughter again? That's not good. You should always try to learn as much as you can about where you're going before you go there. Not just with the school either. Always, even if it's a trip to the convenience store, right? Really, Shi-chan? Learn about where you're going. Oh wait, whoops. I'm putting the wrong inflections in the wrong places. Learn about where you're going. I guess I didn't bother to do that, or just didn't care enough to do so. I didn't look forward to this, even if I committed myself to going along with it half-assedly, but anyway. I don't say anything, and Misha signs something and ends with a shrug. What was that? It seems like it was about me. I feel like slumping over in my seat. Both of them are smiling, but the shrug hit me unexpectedly deeply. Look down. You okay? Don't take it the wrong way, please. I hate it when people are afraid to ask questions. That's how people learn things, by asking. Asking for help is perfectly normal, as much as needing help. Stop looking like you just failed a test. I'm not gonna laugh. Alright. And another thing, you don't have to call Shi-chan something so formal like Hakamichi or class rep all the time. Just call her Shi-chan. Okay, maybe that's too casual. Maybe Shizune would be more appropriate. Yep, Shizune is fine. Hey, okay. Okay, that'll be a lot easier for me. I feel a lot more at ease. Both of them seem so friendly, so I feel like an idiot for being so apprehensive earlier. Especially about Shizune, who I assume would be all business. Well, she seems just like that. Just less so, I guess. Huh? Alright, we haven't touched the assignment. We should start work now, or Shi-chan will get mad. The assignment is also kind of long, so we should start now if we want to finish it before the end of class. That too! Shizune glares at the two of us impatiently. I don't know any sign language to understand that. Okay, I get the message. After class, we can take a walk around the grounds together. It's a nice day today, okay? The assignment is actually very challenging to get through, combining aspects of both being difficult and unnecessarily long. I know that feel. When does the menu pop up? When do I get to save? Still, we finish in a few minutes earlier than anyone else in the class, despite our late start. Shizune and Misha are really capable. They're quite different, though. The class rep is as calm and professional as she looks, while Misha's a lot more playful and girlish, not to mention a little more easily distracted. To be honest, the two of them did the most of the work. I feel guilty about that. Bills! Without knowing what else to do, I follow Misha, who is beckoning me into the hallway and down the stairs. We descended even below the lobby, where I met Muto, down the bottom floor. I swear, these are just edited stock photos. Just like everything else in the school, the cafeteria seems too spacious and oddly modern in contrast to the classic exterior. Its big windows open to the courtyard toward the main gate. It's the cafeteria! Her enthusiastic statement of the obvious makes people around us stare, but Misha doesn't seem to care, so we proceed into the line. This is a rather long list of menu options, which seem great until I realize that many of them are to accommodate students who need special diets. How nice! It almost feels like I'm back at the hospital, eating portions measured with scientific precision to meet the needs of the patients. I pick something at random and follow Shizune to a table sitting opposite of her. As I nibble indifferently at the food and I'd rather not eat, Misha pokes me in the side to get my attention and points to Shizune. I don't understand signs, so the point escapes me. Maybe looking at the person who talks to you is proper and polite? Yes? I mean, you'd think that'd be obvious. Do you want to know something? What? About anything. We're your guide, so you should ask if there's something. I wonder. Oh, great. This is definitely one of those games where, I'm totally gonna fail and then end up looking at a walkthrough just to get the proper endings. Ask about the library. Oh yeah, is there a library in the school? Lately I've gotten into reading a lot, so I'd like to check it out. Misha gives kind of a frown and makes it clear she doesn't consider reading a healthy hobby, but then picks up her smile again. There is! It's on the second floor. We can show it to you sometime. Thanks. I return to my food while the girls talk between themselves. Misha and Shizune sign back and forth very animatedly, throwing sideways glances at me, but Misha refrains from translating. Maybe they're talking about secret girl stuff or something. I quickly notice a conversation and sign that is not enough to fill a silence. Well, yes. You know what? I'm gonna cut the video here. It's over 30 minutes, and I don't want to be over time. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos from me, hit the subscribe button. And you are now exiting Shadeverse. My name's Shades, and I hope you've enjoyed your day in the shade. If you guys really like this stuff, feel free to comment and suggest some other ones, because I've been looking into some. There are a couple free ones on Steam. There are a couple ones my friends had suggested that I'll look into later. But I do want to play a couple more of these, but unfortunately, because I'm poor, I'm trying to look for ones that are easily accessible and free. So if you have any suggestions, feel free to put them in the comments, because whether you know it or not, I actually enjoy visual novels. So anyway, see you guys later.